Hello and welcome to the very new and exciting food photography show. So pleased to have you all with me. I can see we've got a lot of people and a few people that hopefully are on their lunch break right now. If not, they need to get to their next lesson. Saying there's a few people there that might need to get a bit of a wriggle on. If you're here live, please do say hello to me in the comments. If you're watching this on catch up, please do put in hashtag replay so that I know that you have seen this. I can see we've got Ceci from Canada there already. Hello, Ceci. Lovely to have you back with us. Hi, Caro. Great to have you with us. Great to see this and love the new channel name. I know. Exciting, right? Paul, lovely to have you here with us too. That's over on YouTube, and I can see we've got quite a few people on Insta. I won't say hello to you all by name, but hello, 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 hello. So this is a really exciting moment for me. This is a channel which has been a long time coming for me in terms of wanting to give you lots of value, lots of insights into food photography without the overwhelm of doing a really long, boring, drawn out video for you. So I want to keep this really simple and just give you one piece of wisdom that I can give you in a very short amount of time, which is good for us all, especially as I've made a hot chocolate and I can go off and drink the hot chocolate afterwards. Just going to say hello to a few more people. Hi, Daryl. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Susan. Hi, Andy. Hi, Maribel. Lovely to have you here with me. And if I have ignored you, I do apologize. I can see. Hi, Rainu. Hi, Pam. Pam, you're looking forward to this. No pressure. Oh, my goodness, no pressure. So let me tell you all about the food photography show and what Treatsember is all about. So firstly, Treatsember is to launch this photography show to give you these insights that I've just mentioned to you. And in December, to ensure that I get you to come along, see what's happening in the show, I will be going live twice a week on a Monday and a Wednesday at 12 noon. And I will be giving you one top tip. And also I'm going to be offering you a chance to work with me in multiple ways, in lots of different things that you can do. And basically, these are quite new or they're very rare and I haven't offered them before. So some of these things are going to get snapped up pretty quickly. So you that are with me live have got a better chance if there are limited numbers on things opposed to those people that are watching it back. Hello, Marcus. Your videos are never boring. Caro, I will pay you later. Thank you very much. So today, the first thing that I am going to offer you is something that has only been offered for 4 days this week. 4 days. I can't quite believe it. When I went back and looked at it and I thought, why am I not offering this more often? But there we go. 4 days is all I have offered it for this year. But I'm offering it to you today. And these offers are going to be available right up until Christmas Eve, right before Santa comes. And you will be able to snap them up and get one of those places. And then the doors close. Like the Advent calendar finishes on the 24th, this finishes too. So the first offer that I am there for you is the 52 bites. So the 52 bites has only been offered 4 days this year. The 52 bites is 52 bites, one a week for the whole year. And within that bite that you get every week, you get a video, which is no more than 5 minutes long, because long videos are boring and we've got so much to do. Life is busy. So I have recorded 52 videos that are around about 5 minutes. Believe me, on some of them I had to talk quite quickly. You will get the video and you will get an accompanying PDF that tells you exactly what to do in that week. So these drop into your email every week. You don't have to think, what social media channel am I going to? What platform's that on? What am I supposed to be doing? This gets dropped through to you on email every week. You can't ignore me. Well, you can, but we're not going to go there. And it's a very special offer through Treatsember. So normally my 52 bites runs at £49 a month. Within that, you get the bites, the video, the PDF, and you get a monthly critique of 3 of your images, so that when you are photographing every month, you get the chance for me to personally critique your photos so that you will improve and not continue to make the same mistakes every month. So this is 52 bites, usually £49. It is down to £15 per month in Treatsember. You do not just get that for Treatsember, you get it every single month that you stay without a break in your 52 bites. So that is only only £52, only £15 for 52 bites. And if you are watching live at the moment, I will drop a link in afterwards for you. And if you are on my email list, you will also get these links. So don't worry, if it's something that you want to do, you can ask me all about that. I'm just going to see if we have got any questions before I move on to my top tip for the 1st of December. Hello, Neil. Hello, Robin. Hello, Marcus. Caro, I always wondered why you didn't offer it more. It's so valuable and inexpensive. And you finished it. You did, didn't you? You did the whole 52 bites, Caro. You must have been sick of me by the end of the year. But actually, no. Then you came into the Food Photography Academy. So at some point, you're going to be very sick of me. So yes, that's the 52 bites. Let me just check on Insta if I've got any other questions. It does not look like it, but hello to everyone on Insta. So if you want to ask me anything or it's mulling around in your head, you can ask me at the end. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here live with you guys at the moment. So that's my bite of the day. What about my top tip? What are we going to be talking about today? We are going to be talking about twinkly lights, twinkly Christmas lights that we use so much when we are when we're doing Christmassy photos. Lost my trail of thought for a minute. I don't know what happened. I think I was probably thinking about what I was having for my dinner. So I'm going to start by going through my top tips of twinkly lights to get you ready for all your Christmas beautiful bokeh images that you are going to take. The first thing that I'm going to show you is different twinkly lights. So this is showing on landscape on YouTube. This is showing on portrait on Instagram. So I'm going to try my best to ensure that you can all see what I'm holding up to the camera. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold up 2 different sets of twinkly lights. And we can have a look at these and look at the color of these. These are my ice white lights. Alternatively, we can have warm fairy lights too. So depending on what it is that you're looking to create with your food and with the mood of your food, you're going to decide, do you want some ice white lights or are you going to have the golden lights? And that's going to be a very different feel to your imagery. One is Winter Wonderland, one is Narnia, one is chintzy Christmas and beautiful warm glows. So this is your starting point, that if you go, yeah, I'm going to go and buy some twinkly lights, what color lights do you want to buy? That's very, very important, because that's going to change the feel of what it is that you do. The second top tip on the lights is to think about how big the lights are that you're using, which might seem a little bit strange. So if we have a look at these lights again, we can see, if I bring this closer to the camera, we can see they are tiny, tiny, tiny lights on a very thin piece of wire. Now, this is perfect for food photography because we want that bokeh effect in the background. And if we've got something really clunky, that's as big as the food, it's going to really draw our eyes to the lights, and it's going to stop us looking at the food. The lights are supposed to enhance. The light is supposed to give us mood, good vibes and moods. So we've got to really think about the size of the lights. So let me show you some bigger lights that I've got. These ones here are beautiful. Little lanterns on a light. But if we now look at how big that wire is and how big the actual light itself is, that could be the same size as some of the food you're going to do. I mean, that is the same size as a cherry tomato, maybe even bigger, depending on where you buy your cherry tomatoes from. So if we now put that next to the ones on the very delicate wire with the little lights, it makes so much difference to what you're actually going to do with your image. So already you're putting yourself behind using something really bulky and clunky like this. So really think of the lights. If you're using those lights, it could be a big table display, or it could be something that is the lights are part of the image. Whereas these are going to be those beautiful twinkly lights behind. And also, one last thing on the lights of color. I really recommend that you don't go for really gaudy, bright, different color, flashing lights, 80s style, Stranger Things vibe. As much as we all love that, it's not going to look great in your really nice, classy, beautiful Christmas image. Think about cool white, warm colors for your images. The next thing that we need to think about is how much room we leave between our lights and the background. So if we start to look at our background here, I've got, you might not be able to see this on Insta, but I've got a really lovely hot chocolate here. And if we look at how far this hot chocolate, let me move you around a bit, see if you can see a bit. If we look at how far away that hot chocolate is to the background, we're not pushing it back on the background. I'm going to just measure it for you. That is 50 centimeters away from the background. So we're not talking about pushing this hot chocolate up against the backdrop. We're trying to create some space. And the more we can move that forward, the more the lights are going to blur in the background. So the more separation that we can get on that image, the better it's going to be for those twinkly lights. That's the first thing we need to do to get the lovely twinkly lights. The second thing we need to look at is if we're working with a camera, we need to look at making it a shallow depth of field. So on our cameras, we don't want to be going up the numbers, the F number, the aperture. If we go up the numbers, that puts more of our background in focus. We want to go down the numbers to have a shallow depth of field so that the background twinkles without taking over the hot chocolate. So that's the second thing we can do to get that beautiful blur. The third thing is if you're using your camera and you're using different lenses, you have to think about what different lenses do when this happens. So if you're working with a 50mm lens, a 50mm lens will get a lot of stuff into the image. If we're working on an 85 lens, it will automatically give us that shallower depth of field. And if we're working on a macro lens, it's going to be really, really blurred in the background if that fits in the hot chocolate. So sometimes we can help ourselves by making sure that we move our subject as far away from the background as we can. If we've got a camera, we can work with our aperture to go with that shallow depth of field. And also we can go with getting the right lens for the job. Natural light is best because if you're using artificial light, it will absolutely blur out all of the lights and you'll end up with just seeing a string of wire, which is not very attractive. If you've got other lights on around and you're not getting that bokeh look, dim other lights, close curtains, put some diffuse light in front of it to try and get that really nice twinkly light to come out. And if you want to hold these in place, you can just get either some photography clips, or you can go to a hardware store, B&Q, somewhere like that, and get these clips so that you can hang your lights behind your subject so it works really well. So I'm just going to hang those up here just to give you an idea. And we're going to switch the lights on. Especially with these being on wire, you can move them around, squidge them around to get them in the right place so that your hot chocolate has that behind it. Think about the sort of cup you use, whether you want the lights to shine through it. If you're using a gin and tonic and you want the lights to come through it, with a hot chocolate, they're not going to come through it. But what we can do is we can frame it so it just sits on the top really, really nicely and looks beautiful. So these are all the things that we can do to make sure we get that beautiful bokeh lighting to work really well. So let's just have a little think of when we would use them. So we'd use them to add warmth and depth to something very simple like this. It automatically creates a really festive feeling. You know, whenever anyone's got twinkly lights on trees and everything, it just feels so cozy and so warm. Another great thing is if you don't have many backdrops, you can use a plain backdrop. This is a black foam board. And by just putting the lights onto this black foam board, I'm instantly transforming it into something else. Already mentioned that we can put it with the glassware. It really helps a beautiful, dark and moody scene because we can really guide people's eyes to where the lights are. Because they're so small, we can dot them around and it gives a beautiful texture to very minimal shots. So there is so much that we can do with the lights. They're absolutely beautiful. If you haven't got the right lights, go and get them. My lights were actually from Primark, and I think I got them in the sale. So these are the ones I've got. They are LED gold firefly lights, they were called. They were £2.50, but in the sale after Christmas last year, I got them for £1.50. So we're not talking about spending much on these lights, but try and get the ones with the with the wire if you can. They work really, really well. So that is my top tips on twinkly lights today. I'm just going to come over to the comments. Oh, I've lost my focus. You've lost me. Come on, camera. Catch up. There we go. Sorry, sticking my finger at you all. But I lost my focus for some reason. It's always when I move these cameras. Right, let's have a little look. Caro, you stick the lights on the backboard with glue dots from the range, but the lights keep falling off. Any recommendations for better glue dots? Oh, there you go. I would say just use a clip, use a peg, use a bullfrog clip, and put your backdrops landscape, not portrait, unless you need the height, and just use something like this. But because these lights are so lightweight, you can just get a peg and add a peg on, and it works really easily. In fact, with some of these, you'll find that the wire will actually stick on top of your backdrop because they just stay in place. Wonderful creations, wonderful creations. Susan, do you edit out the wire afterwards? 64 million questions. Sorry, it's gone again. It's because I moved. Let me just see if I can get it back. I'm not sure why it didn't like that. Sorry. There we go. It likes me again now. I'm back. I better not move, but I talk with my hands, so this could be really bad. Do I edit the wire out afterwards? It really depends on how much separation you've got from the subject, what lens you're using, and what aperture you're on. You might find with your lens aperture and separation, you don't even need to edit out the wires because you've done the job in camera, or you've been able to move the hot chocolate or whatever it is that you're using further off the background. I hope that helps. Let me just have a look on Insta and see if we've got any questions on Insta. Scotty, the critiques are a good way to improve your individual style, the food community friendly. Good to be part of it. Oh, well, that's very nice. Thank you, Scotty. Let me know if you've got any more questions. Just checking again back on YouTube. Did you mention a good f-stop for an 85mm lens? Well, that will depend on your camera, but I would always say that you're going to start at 8, or you're going to go down a stop and you're going to go to 5.6. I would say then go lower than 5.6. You might find if you're working with an 85, a 5.6 stop aperture will work. But it really, at this point, depends on what camera you've got. Have you got any modifications on or a bracket on your lens? But I would say start at 8, go to 5.6, and then just keep working down. Obviously, the lower the aperture number, the more light you're letting into the camera. So then you're going to need to work with your exposure triangle and look at your shutter speed and your ISO, so you don't make the image too bright and too stark, or then we've lost that cozy feeling with the twinkly lights. Okay, let me just see if there is anything else. I know there's a little bit of a delay between me talking and you guys typing and actually getting back. You're welcome, Ceci. You're welcome. Daryl, when shooting with twinklies, I like that, twinklies, do you stay at 56,000K or do you warm it up a bit? Really good question there. So what Daryl's talking about here is the white balance of, would I look at warming it up a bit if I'm working with warm lights? The 5,600K that he's referencing is the Kelvin. And I would say, unless I was photographing something very, very white or something very, very blue, I would always keep my Kelvin on around 5,600, whatever your camera lets you do. The reason I don't have my white balance on automatic is because it can change through the day and I want my images to look consistent. So I would stick it, Daryl, at 5,600. If you're doing a winter wonderland and it's all white and it's all blue, that's where you might want to warm up your Kelvin, warm up your white balance. But 9 out of 10 times, I tend to stick it on 5,600 and leave it there because it seems to be a good point, which is slightly cooler, but it's not cool enough to make food and drink look cold. Great question. Great questions today, people. Loving geeking out on the twinkly light stuff that we do. Right, let me just have another double check that there are no last questions. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments below. I will be coming back to add in the links for you today, give you some extra links in here, and also to give you the link for the 52 bites. So if anyone fancies me dropping into your inbox every week with a little video, a little PDF, for you to have a cup of tea and watch a little tip like this every week, I'd love to have you in my world. Okay, thank you very much for being here for the first ever photography show, food photography show. It's been brilliant streaming in and really starting this off with some lovely people to support me. So thanks very much, everyone. And I will see you hopefully Wednesday, 12 o'clock noon for the next top tip and for the next thing that I'm offering. I'm already excited myself. Can't believe it. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.